Mr. Sahay, where do you stand on this? Obviously, I completely agree with Tahira ji that this is not something that needs to be politicized. Nobody also wants to get into a blame game with the agencies or authorities or the police. But the fact of the matter is that there are anomalies when it comes to how this internal, investigation or the lack thereof led to this young girl's death, her brutal death.
Nobody is talking about the politicization of this particular heinous crime. Nonetheless, politicization is the only thing which happens in this country. Now, coming back to as to what is happening there, let's be very clear about the fact, and let's take it frontally that our systems are completely broken. So if you are thinking of that this is one odd crime, it is one odd crime which has accentuated to a level that we cannot digest. Otherwise, on a day-to-day basis, things of this nature are happening, and I'm forced to believe that, and there is absolutely no other way out. The role of the principal, not the role of the principal, I'll not get into that. It is primarily a complete mafia which has been operating in this country, and that is borne out by all the facts which we see. Now, I think the father of the girl, he talks about that the principal was forcing her to apologize to the harasser or face consequences shortly before the tragedy occurred. This is what the principal was doing. And the internal complaints committee, somewhere it is reported in the public domain that they wanted the removal of this particular professor. Now, what happened to that? Nobody has any idea. And only after meeting the principal, she goes and tries to self-immolate. So beginning till the end, we have any number of social media posts, and Tyra madam will bail me out, on which cases happen and on which variety of things happen, and people are behind the bar. This girl has been begging for action, and that nothing has happened. She went to the MP, there also nothing has happened. And the worst part is that end to end, there's absolutely nobody who has stood by her side. My personal understanding is this is the rotten state of affairs. And what if we pick it up only when crime of this nature happens? I don't think we are doing justice to improving the college management setup in the academic institutions. It has been happening all around the place, and with I think there will be brilliant investigation. These people go behind the bars, they whatever the maximum punishment they give, but that is not going to improve. Big improvement will happen when we are able to enforce systemic changes. You don't have a counselor there. There is nobody to listen to her. And this fellow is making, the predator has been making overtures in a manner which is just unimaginable. So this fellow says he will bring down the marks. I think she was not allowed to take the exam also. So this is where we stand, whether it is we are talking about a heinous crime or it is a completely degraded system, a completely indifferent system, which is primarily operating on politics, on mismanagement, drawing favors, giving favors, and of literally any time and every time. I'm completely appalled. And every single time the same thing is happening. And it is not only the principal who is involved. This guy, anyway, the second man is involved. Internal complaints committee, we don't know. And when this is happening day in and day out of the college, the faculty, nobody stands up. So I don't know. If we take it just as a crime and keep dealing it with from RJ to Fakir and to whatever, I don't think this is going to make any dent. And however strong your laws might be, the strength of the law primarily depends on the enforcement of the law. And after enforcement of the law, the failure of enforcement or a aberration or one case coming out of it as an exception, then the capability to invest in a manner as desired and take it to the logical conclusion, that is what is required. And then the opposition also. So they have a standard playbook. So you have to do dharna, you have to do protest, you have to do whatever you do. End of the day, they have finished their playbook and they will go home and they will say as a opposition, what we were supposed to do, we have done. So nobody actually cares, the whole political apparatus, and I will go to the extent of the bureaucratic apparatus also. Nobody is actually bothered. In improving this, it is an uphill task to make our campuses both empathetic, really gender agnostic, so to say, and management which is objective, which can work proactively and is working in real time. It is dynamic and real time because it was not working in real time that this tragedy has happened.
Okay.